Good evening. Thank you for listening to The Regime. I'm Yenny. With me in the studio is Macsøs. Macsøs from southwestern Ontario, who is actually going to Alberta. We're going to hear more about this. I'm really excited he's back. He was here with Big Swish. Already feels like months ago because time just flies. Thank you again for coming to the studio. You have with you Austin, who is doing some camera work.
Yes, sir. He's the man behind the camera for everything I do.
Please introduce yourself. Tell us where we can find you, and then please tell us about you. We want to know more about you.
So my name is Macsøs. I'm from here in Kitchener, Waterloo. You can find me on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that. All of my newer music is only on YouTube right now, though. I'm dropping my next album probably next spring or next summer. And it's not going to be on all platforms till then, but I'm dropping them one by one with videos on YouTube right now. So if you want the new music, check it out on YouTube.
So, I remember when you were here last time, you mentioned that you basically drop a new song every Monday.
Every other Monday, yeah, every 2 weeks.
So how has that been going? Because I've been following you too, and it's always so amazing when you meet local people that are great artists and also interesting, people in general.
Yeah, it's been going good. It's keeping me busy. It's allowing me to show a lot of my art in a short amount of time, which is cool because I'm kind of a sporadic artist, sporadic mind. I always write about what I'm feeling about, so all my songs vary from song to song. So it's cool to put that out in such a short amount of time, you know?
It's literally incredible when you look at all the work that you do, because people that don't want to sign on to a record label, that are trying to keep their independence and things like that, you have to do all of the grunt work that otherwise, but you don't sell yourself, you want to keep your integrity. Obviously that is a purpose of why you do what you do. Would you consider signing on with a label? What are your thoughts?
With a label, probably not. I would be more interested in me and my friends starting our own label, to be honest.
Right.
I think it's important to have a good team, and I got a good team now. It's good to have, people like Oz and people like Confused, who helps me mix and master my music, my own producers. I got everything I need that I think a record label will provide me with anyway, so.
That's amazing.
So,
tell us about you. Thanks for coming here, first of all.
Yeah, anytime.
Last time we had a good conversation, and we got a little bit political, but, it's important to be able to share our thoughts in this world. And if media is getting censored because they say that we can't say certain things on radio or something like that, then we really should be questioning, do we have freedom of speech?
That's right. The last guy that did that killed millions of people, so think about it.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I don't understand that kind of thinking. So tell us about you. What made you want to be an artist? What made you want to be a performer?
So I think I mentioned this last time I was here, but I'll reiterate. I got my first guitar when I was 7 for my birthday, my 7th birthday. And I come from kind of a musical family. Both of my grandparents play guitar and sing, so I kind of grew up watching them sing and play guitar. So it just came naturally to me. And as I got older, as I turned, 13, 14, it was just a way to express myself in a way that I hadn't been able to previously. And, being that age, it's important to have a way to get those emotions out.
Yeah.
So I dove right into poetry and writing out my thoughts. And that's kind of my therapy on my own for a while.
Good for you.
Yeah, and I kind of just stuck with it. Music helped me a lot when I was that age too, other people's music. So it was always kind of my goal growing up to reach out to people and help them too, make an impact,
Good for you. It's pretty, when you see, musicians, it's you listen to music. I love music. Mm-hmm. And the things that, wherever we find music, we kind of see things being pushed,
Yeah.
And it's sometimes I wonder, what the purpose behind, what's the purpose behind, now we see so much more, all of the scandals that are now out.
Yeah.
It's actually so terrible that, good for you to stick into your integrity because it may save your life, right?
Absolutely.
Literally, you're avoiding being assaulted and being abused because
music has been weaponized. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, thank you.
I think music has been weaponized on a broad scale, and especially hip hop, since probably the last 2 or 3 decades, it's been used as a weapon to to target the youth in a negative way, to turn people, I don't really want to say into criminals, but kind of into criminals.
Yeah.
You know, it's glorifying gun violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's creating an illusion when the artists themselves, I don't even think, actually live a life like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. It's like, hey, write a song like this, and you're going to be able to put it on air, and we're going to, like, set you up.
Exactly.
And then it can seem very, like, I guess alluring. Like, oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, we all are struggling in some way or another. Unless you're independently wealthy, like, getting, like, set up in a way seemed like maybe a good option. And there's been scandals about, like, well, scandals, like, I guess how much profit all of the other entities except for the artists are making so much money.
Yeah.
And, like, I just saw something about, like, the Spotify executive made like $345 million in 1 year. And you're thinking to yourself, like, how though? Because the only reason he made all that money is because of the music that people listen to.
Absolutely, I agree.
So that is, like, terrible, actually.
Yeah. And it's crazy that if you sell one T-shirt at a show, you've made the same amount in that profit margin as you would off 10 or 15,000 streams.
Yeah, like...
And it just doesn't make sense to me, you know? It's not how it should be.
It's corporate greed.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, how did it all started? And also, like, when you think back about how... Let's say Johnny Cash, for example, like... You know, when he had to record, or like people back in his era, it was harder to find that recording time. Yeah. So when you finally got it, you were like, they kind of like had you by the balls, right? Yeah. And then and now looking back on Prince, you kind of think like, oh, now I understand why he like made such a big deal out of like being against the industry.
Yeah.
And now like speed up to 2024, and we're like, oh my God, like I honestly. Justin Bieber, growing up, like, we're from southwestern Ontario here. Like, he's southwestern Ontario's own. Like, my daughter literally watched, and I followed, like, I remember seeing Justin go from, like, innocent and loving music to something happened, and we didn't know what happened until, like, more recently.
48 Hours with Diddy.
Holy fuck.
It's fucked up.
Holy fuck.
It's right fucked up, and I feel bad for that guy because honestly, yeah, you know, I used to hate on him so much, and now I just feel bad for the guy because now it's in light what he went through and the kind of thing that the industry will do to you, and it's kind of terrifying.
The worst perpetrators literally are in some of the positions to make these kind of decisions about people, and that is just one like aspect of it. And then we're talking like sign with us, right?
Yeah.
Make us 7 albums, and then you're like, oh, and then go on all these tours. And like I think to myself, even I think about Whitney Houston, because like what an amazing singer. I don't think that there's ever her match. I think, you know, I mean, she was so amazing, such an amazing singer, terrible, afflicted human. But, like, I think about how they, like, pulled the voice out of her. Yeah. Because she has such a beautiful voice. And it's just, like, we can't use the artists. They need to be respected.
Yeah. They pretty much purchase them and use them as, a tool of profit. And that's not what I want from my music. So, in short, I don't think I would sign to a record label. Honestly, I just want to make an impact. I want to use my platform that I build myself with my friends to impact people in a positive way, you know? And I've come to the point with my art where I'm happy with it. You know, I'm willing to take it as far as I possibly can, but I just want to make that impact, you know?
That's so interesting that you have that urge because, again, a lot of people want to be an artist and in the spotlight because they like want to be seen and they want to be respected and for all of the different reasons, right? So like it's kind of a different perspective to be like, I want to put this out here because I like want people to hear. I want to connect with others. Yeah. But you have to work hard at it. So you're going to Alberta. When are you leaving?
We leave next Thursday. We're flying from Toronto to Edmonton. So we're doing Edmonton on the 10th, Red Deer on the 11th, Calgary on the 12th, then Drumheller on the 13th.
Nice.
And then coming home on the 14th. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thanksgiving in Alberta. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be my first experience going out west, so First of many, I'm sure.
Yes. Canada is such a large, vast country. I was actually fortunate when I haven't been east other than to Ottawa, as far as east as Ottawa and Gatineau. But I've been to a little bit west, and it's such a beautiful country.
I can't wait to see it. You know, it's everyone goes on vacation to other countries, but I just thought it'd be cool to see Canada. You know, I haven't seen it yet. I've been to Quebec once for a rock festival with my dad. That was pretty cool, but
Oh, nice.
I wanna go west and see what it's like out there.
What rock fest did you see?
Montebello Rock Fest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, me and my dad used to go to that every year. It was
Oh, cool.
kind of our thing before it shut down. Yeah, that was a big inspiration to me too. That was before I was in bands or anything. You know, seeing that was pretty inspiring to me back then. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Seeing live music can like take it from like you already love it, and then when you see it, it's like it comes alive. Like
The whole festival vibe. It's amazing. There's nothing like it. You know.
I love festivals.
I would
also.
love to perform at a festival someday. That's a big goal for me.
There's some spaces even locally that are like could be festival spaces. There's some bigger areas, depending on where you're thinking. But it's so nice to have live music. I was lucky to go to festivals and when I was still in Sweden. I went to one in Canada too, the Summer Salt, I think, in Ottawa. I saw
yeah.
Our Lady Peace and Smashing Pumpkins and I think Catherine Wheel.
Oh yeah, nice.
Like in 2000, yeah. So, going on tour in Alberta, and then so you're the artist Macsøs,
Yeah.
and then you have also a band. So what's up with that?
Yeah. So recently I've started it's kind of like a grunge band.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're called Lung Butter. It's pretty cool. I play guitar and sing in it.
Mum butter,
Lung Butter.
lung butter.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of like like Foo Fighters, 3 Days Grace kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
So like I grew up playing guitar, and you know hip hop is obviously what I've been most successful with so far, but I gotta keep that guitar on the sideline because it's really like therapy to me the most. You know, like
yeah.
I've always been pulled back and forth between being in a band and being a hip hop artist, but I have to just come to the conclusion that hip hop is what's most successful to me, but I have to, you know, keep that guitar on the sidelines, like I said.
Yeah,
like
you kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to ever stop playing guitar.
That's right, but
yeah.
I would get in these moods where I just didn't want to do hip hop anymore, and I just wanted to focus on the band, but it doesn't work like that, you know. I've made this promise to all these people and these fans, and I just can't leave them hanging like that. And I've realized that they rely on my music and to an extent, you know, and that's what I always wanted with my music anyway, you know, was to impact people like that. So who am I to just walk away from it now?
Right. So you're sticking with Macsøs is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's just what I have to do, you know.
Well, you're going on a tour, so I feel like that's commitment, right?
Yeah,
like going
exactly.
on tour is commitment.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So how did that come together? Because it's always interesting. You're saying like you're self-promoting, and it's like you and your friends
Yeah.
are helping build together. So how did that come together?
So essentially, it was all thanks to Facebook. Like I'm pretty big at networking every day with new artists that I come across, and I actually just shared. His name's Distinct. Shout out Distinct if you're watching this. I just shared one of his songs, and we started talking on direct messages, and yeah. He just asked me if I wanted to come on tour. I was like, yeah, sure, let's go.
Oh,
like,
that's amazing.
Absolutely. See, just being nice. Let
Yeah.
this be a lesson to anybody who's watching this right now. Being nice will get you so far in life, and it will get you more respected, and it will just generally lead to a better life if you move with respect and you move confidently and with integrity.
Yeah.
Those three things will get you so far in life, you know? And that's all it was just me being nice to him. And he's like, I have this huge opportunity. Do you want it? Like, sure. Hell yeah, let's go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't just like get there on accident either. You've been working hard. You have experience and skill, and you have intention.
Yeah. That's
So-
another big thing, move with intention. And he
Yeah.
saw that. My whole Facebook page just screams intention, you know, and he saw my posts day after day and the consistency and everything. And I'm sure if I wasn't being consistent or I didn't have the
Right.
intention, that it wouldn't have just came that easy. But
Yeah, you've worked for it.
yeah.
Sweet. So who else is going to Alberta with you?
Me and Oz are going, and maybe his buddy too. But for sure, the two of us are going. Yeah. We're going to try and get some video coverage and do a little documentary while we're out there.
Oh, awesome idea.
Because it's the first tour for me, so
yeah,
it's important to document that.
For sure. That is so important.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a music video out there or something too.
Like, I know.
He's the guy for that. Any artists that are watching this, hit up Studio of Oz for a video. He always goes above and beyond every time.
You like what you do. You like filming. You must like to get in the camera. Yeah. It helps to like what you do.
Yeah.
Comes like natural.
For sure.
People are filling their positions. Like, you know, when you're willing to do something just because you enjoy it, that's like reward. Too many people spend time doing something they literally hate to do. And they're in a situation where they have a mortgage and cars.
Yeah.
And like
they get stuck in that trap,
they can't
right?
get out. They would have to go bankrupt. I'm not sure.
It's a sad world like that. We're kind of just trapped in a cycle. And that's why I see music as so important, because even for that 2-3 minute song, the right song with the right person, it can make them feel free for that 3 minutes. And that alone, the energy that comes from that, and the mental thing that goes through people's head when they hear that song, sometimes it can make their whole day better.
It's so true.
You know, it can make it worth living for that extra 3 minutes. And if I can do that to one person in my whole life, I don't care if I make 500 songs. If my one song makes one person feel like living again, then I've done my job, you know? Like, that's what it takes.
It's like the glue that puts the community together.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember saying last time I was here with you about how music's all blending together. You know, the different genres are all coming together.
Oh, yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's another thing, too. It kind of ties in with that, like... Music is the thing that brings us all together. Music is the thing that will heal the world, in my opinion, anyway.
I agree. It takes courage, though, because people will tell you, like, oh, that's a silly dream. You have to do what you got to do. And it's like, okay, what's that again? It's looking even more weird nowadays than it ever did. It's like, okay, so what are we supposed to do today? Oh, yeah, let's see what they say today. And it's like, holy, no, I don't think, like, really? You have to change every day, first of all.
Yeah.
But, like...
See, I wanted to be a musician my whole life. I went through that, you know, getting bullied in high school because I wanted to be a musician and all that. In a small town, you know, I was the one that stuck out like a sore thumb. So, you know, but it goes full circle if you don't give up and you stay focused. Because those same people that would talk shit to me bought tickets to my show and I played London Music Hall sold out, you know, like...
Oh, nice.
It's
There
like
you
that.
go.
That's life, you know. People won't
naysayers.
believe in you until you believe in yourself
I
enough to get
know.
you farther, you know.
So
and then,
true.
Then they hop on the bandwagon.
And here they hopped on the... That should be a name of a tour. Hop on the bandwagon.
Yeah, the bandwagon tour.
I love
That's
it.
a good idea.
Yeah, right? Have you guys seen the Tragically Hip documentary?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love the hip. Personally.
Honestly, I wasn't even in Canada. Like, coming to Canada, I had already met one person that loved the Tragically Hip and was, like, out in the world, like, advocating, like, talking about the hip, but I had never heard them. And then coming to Canada and being like, okay, yeah, like, I was able to see them once at the Waterloo airport. Amazing event. Like, it was the album that had The Last Recluse on it. So it was fairly late on in their band world. And, like, yeah, they're amazing. But, like, seeing all of this Ontario and just seeing, like... I cried when I saw the way that Gordy smiled because he was so happy. Like, when I watched this, I started it, and, like, 10 minutes into it, you're just, like, watching the band. And he has this smile on his face that you're just like, this man is doing exactly what he came to this planet to do.
Exactly,
He's living his best life, and he's so happy. We don't barely ever get to see people smile like that because that's a genuine smile.
Yeah.
And, like, it made me cry. And then I made a Facebook post where I said, does this make me a real Canadian? Because I'm crying to Gordy Downey and Tragically Hip. And people are like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
That's the requirement to be a Canadian, you know.
And, like, all of these cool little towns that are, like, you know, Bob Cajun. And it's like, yeah, it's actually out there. So thanks for being an artist.
Absolutely.
Following your dream.
Anytime.
Takes work, but it's worth doing something you love.
Yeah, it's not work if you love doing it, you
There
know.
you go.
Every step of the way.
So, yeah, the people got to come together.
The people have to come together, and that's when
Yeah.
music comes in, you know.
Yeah. So what do you have up? Okay, so you're going to Alberta, and then what's your other, like, future upcoming?
Still gonna keep dropping music.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm gonna start rolling out the album. I'm trying to get my visa to go to America to play some shows in America.
Ooh.
I'm trying to go to Europe. That's my big goal. That's my crazy big goal right now. I opened for
nice.
Lloyd Banks there a couple months ago from G Unit, and his tour manager does a lot of shows in the UK and in Germany and France.
Oh, nice.
And he said they would love me over there. So
Oh, sweet.
I'm like, take me then.
Yeah.
So I sent him all my information, and he's just helping me get some shows going over there.
Oh
so
my gosh, that's amazing.
I'm trying to go worldwide, you know.
You're going to go worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
That's right.
Well, thanks for coming to Radio Waterloo.
Yeah,
Keep in
anytime.
touch with us.
Yeah, of course.
You have a very good personality. I like your attitude and outlook, and that you're very generous.
Mm-hmm.
You're generous with your art.
I've been called names before. I've been called like an extremist because of my views and stuff, you know, because I'm a big animal rights activist. I'm a big advocate for, you know, ending animal slaughter and stuff. And
Yeah. Well, hey, we're
plant-based lifestyle and everything. So.
So tell us about that. Like, what made you?
Okay, that's a story. We're gonna
Yeah,
tie your
tell
shoes.
us.
We're going in now.
Tell us.
So I worked in a slaughterhouse when I was a teenager, from probably 16 to 20-ish. And we slaughtered chickens like 30,000 a day, and I worked on the kill floor.
Ooh.
And you know, I never really thought anything of it, but then they upgraded to like a European system where they used a gas chamber instead of like electric stunning.
Oh.
And that it seemed better at first because, you know, they would come in gassed and they wouldn't be fighting and screaming and kicking when you would hang them. But I know it's a lot, I know, but
Yeah.
one time it broke down, the gas thing, and we didn't have the electric stunner anymore. I mean, I don't know if I signed the non-disclosure agreement, but fuck it. But they literally would come in live, and there was no way to stun them, so we had to just pull their necks off.
Oh.
Like 30,000 of them that day, and
Yeah.
you know how they are when you pull their heads off, how they flail and they're like blood all over
Oh
again.
my
So it was
God,
awful.
I'm so sorry. That's traumatizing.
Very traumatizing. So I just never ate
Yeah.
meat again, and it's probably been like 9 years now.
You're probably healthier for it. And actually,
Yeah.
I like people who work in slaughterhouses. I think everybody has a traumatic experience, unless some people actually enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen videos where people, like I watched, like I came in as a horse advocate, right? So I've watched a lot of horse slaughter videos, because
I
some
can't imagine how hard that is to slaughter a horse.
right. That's basically
Like difficult, like physically, you know, like.
Thanks for pointing it out. They're a flight animal, right?
Yeah.
So it is impossible to slaughter a horse humanely.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to do it. You would have to do euthanasia, but then you can't eat the meat, right?
Yeah.
So I watched a video where a guy, like, because some advocates would hide or mount cameras, like before, like it's probably harder to do that now. But like,
Yeah.
there's a video of this guy and he has like a mask on, and he's just walking so leisurely. And the animal is like still struggling because they're also supposed to be rendered unconscious with the electric bolt before you like string them up
Yeah.
by their hind. So a lot of horses are still fully conscious because the method is not like fully like they didn't complete, right? They're not unconscious.
Yeah.
And just
It's
watching,
not fully effective. Yeah.
it's not effective. And then not to mention how many times. So sometimes they use the gun or the shotgun. Or the rifle, and like also so hard for the horse to keep their head still. Like somebody was saying to me, I was talking with somebody recently, and they said the only way to put down a horse with the gun effectively is if it's already laying down.
Yeah.
That you're sitting on their head and you're able to position the bullet. It's the most humane way to actually put the horse out, because actually when you euthanize them, unless they're very close to death, they're gonna be confused by the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not going to go out in a humane way,
Yeah.
but they're going to like actually be confused.
Yeah. Humane death is kind of an oxymoron in my opinion. I don't think that makes sense. I know I've seen animals scream for their lives. You know, people like to think when they're desensitized that animals don't react like that or have feelings like that.
Yeah.
But when you see a crate full of chickens come in, and they're all like huddling over the small one, trying to protect it.
Oh my God.
But
Wow.
it's messed up because the little one underneath all the big ones wouldn't be gassed out, but the other ones on top of it will be gassed out. So it would actually suffer more than the other ones
Oh
because,
my
but they didn't know
God.
that, right?
That's horrendous.
It's terrible.
It's like I also stopped eating meat when I went to this equine sanctuary, Apona Healing Ranch. I went there to help organize just a day campaign that was a solidarity event with Jan Arden and Canadian Horse Defense Coalition in BC, in Vancouver, on 27th of September. So Lydia reached out to me and she said, do you want to help to do something here? So we did a very small gathering. Most of all, we talked and we had some people come out. Yeah. And we just did this day. And Jen Arden is amazing in BC. Oh my God, Jen Arden. Thank you for being involved, trying to stop the live shipping of horses to Japan for slaughter. Because some people think it's a delicacy to eat fresh horse meat. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to bring at least the horses to the ground and then say that other countries will have to slaughter their own horses, because you can't stop people from doing what they're going to do. But if there was a way for us to ground this industry, so there's actually a petition right now that actually a local MP, Tim Lewis, started. That is Bill C-355. Literally, Kitchener-Conestoga MP. I've reached out to him. I want to talk with him and thank him for doing something for horses. Hopefully, this petition can get some ground. But what you're talking about, since I stopped eating meat, I actually feel better. I feel calmer. Mm-hmm. So, I was vegan years ago, but then I wasn't doing it healthy. I was, eating peanut butter and pickles. I didn't do it healthy at all.
You got to take your vitamins. That's important.
Yeah, and just eat, varied and nuts and beans and legumes and things like that. Yeah. Now I'm, but anyways, so I stopped eating, and I literally already feel so much calmer. So it's almost it's so unhealthy. To each their own, and people are going to eat what they're going to eat. Yeah. And it's what we eat is they're trying to get us to eat bugs. So between bugs and it's just I think I would rather eat lentils. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree. But I know that people won't change their minds necessarily, certain types of people. So I think it's very important to reaffirm the message that it's far more effective. Arguably, it's better to buy meat from a farmer than a grocery store, obviously. I mean, that's pretty clear. Mm-hmm. But it might actually be better for the environment than some vegan diets, because some vegan diets are still pretty bad for the environment.
Right.
If you drink almond milk that's coming from a monoculture almond farm, that's killing millions of bees every year. And it's defeating the whole purpose of it, in my opinion. So... avoid almond milk. So
okay, so do you want to quickly talk about your diet? How do you stay vegan? Because some people would just say I can't stay healthy on a vegan diet.
I have an amazing partner who makes me great meals every day.
Thank you, great partner.
Yeah, thank you, great partner.
But what would you say you eat?
It's a lot of rice and a lot of legumes and beans. It's a lot of understanding amino acid chains and mixing them. You have to have.
Do you eat miso?
Yeah, I like miso. Yeah, you gotta have rice with a bean together. Yeah. To make that full amino chain, right? Yeah.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I feel so good, ginger and garlic and just everything that you can put into there. I'm excited and I feel better because when I was vegan, it was because of animals. When I started eating eggs again, I felt I don't agree with my own diet. Yeah. And for years, I just kind of felt well, this is just what I eat. And going to this place gave me an opportunity to come off of it again. Do we actually internalize these animals into us in a way that we can't even fully understand? Because you're actually eating a spirit.
Yeah. Living with respect. Treating people like people and not things to be used, because that's where people go wrong. But
I hear you. The greed and the self-centeredness.
The greed and the treating people like objects and treating them like they're just something to benefit you with. But you can't be like that. You can't treat people like that, I don't think.
I guess it comes into with the animals too. That's why animals get abused, because they're so easy to have power over some of them. Mm-hmm. And then somebody who is willing to be not a great person. Or some people get into the obedience and all. Macsøs has been in the studio with us. Yep. Thank you so much. Have a really awesome tour out west.
I will. I'm excited. Thank you again. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I'll talk to you soon then.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.